Yo, what's up, guys? So, Phase 3 of Classic Fresh was announced. We're getting Blackwing Lair on March 20th, and we're also getting Darkmoon Fair and the level 50 class quests as well. April 3rd, we're getting Arathi Basin Battleground weekends, and the rank 11 cap will be gone, allowing us to get to rank 14 finally. I didn't want to do a whole video on it, but that's basically all the new stuff we're getting. There's a lot of people doing, I guess, more in-depth, like Phase 3 prep guides and things like that. Go check those out. That's not really my thing, but yeah, I'll leave a link down below for all the info you can read through if you're like a newer player and you just want to like see what's getting added to the game in Phase 3. I'll leave a little thing for that down in the description. And but I will go over my Phase 3 PvP RET Reckoning Abyss gear setup. All right, so this is my Phase 3 PvP Abyss setup, and I'll explain why I chose each piece of gear. Let's start with the trinkets. So these are like just your solid trinkets. You'll probably switch your PvP trinket in and out with this, but there's some other ones you can use that are pretty nifty that we get. Drakefang Talisman, if you can get your hands on that, is sick, but it's gonna be very hard to get as a red paladin. Scroll of Blinding Light is sick. It's basically just haste. It's pretty nice. And there's oh yeah, the Darkmoon cards. The Maelstrom one is really sick. It basically just adds an extra 200 to 300 damage on a RECK bomb, and it will proc a lot. It's just that the thing with this, it doesn't it has like an internal cooldown, so once it procs, it's done. It can't proc more than once on a swing. I've tested it before. I think those are the only like new trinkets to go over. But yeah, so if you can get your hands on a Drakefang Talisman, sick, but that's like more like rogue. I think rogues are probably gonna get that, warriors are gonna get that over you. Scroll Blinding Light, and then we also get the Maelstrom trinket that are both really good. You can get your hands on those. The jewelry stays about the same from my previous BIS list. The reason I like these is because you get your hit from the Ani Tooth Pendant and the Don Julio's band, and then you get a lot of max stat off the Myrmidon Signet. The only new ring, I would say, would be like Master Dragon Slayer ring, but the problem with this ring is, so it does have good stam. You get 14 stam, 48 attack power, and then you get one hit. But Don Julio's band has crit on it, so I choose that over Master Dragon Slayer ring, and it has 3 less stam. It does have quite a bit less attack power, but you're still going to be swinging pretty hard. Yeah, it's pretty much the only new ring, and I'm just not going to use it. I'm just going to use Don Julio's band, Myrmidon Signet, and Ani Tooth Pendant. I do use 3-piece PvP. Like, if you don't have any other gear, you could just do the 6-piece PvP. But I plan on hopefully getting the 3 pieces of Judgment that I will be using. But I'll go over why I'm using the 3 pieces I chose for this phase. And also buy the 6-piece set anyways, because later on, for the Marshal's gear, you are going to switch pieces up. You're going to be using different legs at some point, and then you'll be switching your gear around, so it's good to buy every piece. The only one I wouldn't buy, just because like I always only use Stronghold Gauntlets. I hate being disarmed, and I like being able to run a enchant on my weapon. So for me, this is BIS forever. All right, let's get back to, I'm just sidetracking too much. But yeah, the 3-piece for the martial gear you'll use is the legs, the helmet, and the chest. And the reason why is because they all have crit on them. And you do get some spell power, and the stats on them are pretty nice. So it's like the Marshal's legs, the Marshal's chest, and yeah, you get crit on this too. And then the helmet, they all have crit on them. So those are the ones that you use just to get your crit up. As far as belts, we'll just work our way up. So Omok's Girth Restrainers, easy to get. It's got decent stats on it, and it's got 1% crit, so if you can't get anything else, just use this. But the 2 that you can use over this, if you can get an Onslaught Girdle, insane, use that. But this is really hard to get. The next best one, it's actually a Mel piece from Blackwing Lair. Hunters are probably going to be trying to get this, but you can get it as a Ret Paladin, or a Paladin. It gives you crit, 44 attack power, 22 stamina, is insane. 12 spirit, and then 12 int. So realistically, you would use this one, and then if you can, go into this one, because it's going to give you really good stats. You could use this in PvP and be fine, because it's like a small piece, doesn't give you that much more armor anyways. Yeah, stronghold gauntlets. I'm just forever gonna use those just because you get immune to disarm. Big. So as far as weapons, just go with the Grand Marshal weapon. Any of the ones with 3.8 speed, 41 stamina, 26 strength, and then the 1% crit. That's the one to use for reckoning, anyways. But yeah, if you don't plan on going for rank 14, you could use a Skandi. And this was going to be on the list, but then I found out that they weren't going to cap it at rank 13, and we could just get rank 14, which is sick. So yeah, Grand Marshal's Claymore. That's your bis right there. As far as bracers, I use Judgment just because you get 21 stam on these, and then I put 9 more, so you get 30 stamina just off these bracers. It's insane. 9 in, 8 spirit, and then 9 strength, and then the 7 spell powers in that big, but it gets your 3-piece done. You don't really need the 3-piece or the 5-piece really, but it's nice to have, just to have. If you're running 2 pieces of Judgment, you might as well run 3. But what you could do is use Berserker Bracers. These are Warsong Rep Exalted. 17 strength, 7 agi, 9 stamina. They're really good also. So you could choose to use these if you want. And that brings me back, I forgot to talk about boots. So I'm using Judgment boots, but if you don't want to use these, if you can get your hands on chromatic boots, they have like really good stats. And then you could start dropping hit on rings if you want and go for like crit rings. But that's like a whole other thing. But yeah, I'm going to use the Judgment Bracers for sure. But just saying, you could use Berserker Bracers if you want also. Chest, you're just going to use the Field Marshal one. Cape, Stone Skin Gargoyle Cape, just because it has stam, strength, and agi on it. If you can't get that, or if you can get, what is it called? Dragon's Blood Cape, just use that. 22 stamina on it, it's nice. But you'll be fine with this one. This one's a really good PvP cloak. And then Judgment shoulders. I'm mainly using the Judgment pieces too, just to give me more mana as well, because you want a lot of mana, and then you do want a lot of health too. So it's like I'm running like the more max stat build, but you also have very good offensive capability. And then we're using Field Marshal face guard. I would just use Oni Tooth Pendant also. You'd use Amulet of the Dark Moon too, but you'd miss out on crit and hit. And you really need that crit and hit, but the agility is sick. I don't know. It's a decent piece, but I just think Oni Tooth Pendant is just better still. And then, yeah, we'll look at the stats a little bit. 798 attack power with Kings on. We'll do without Kings, 748. Yeah, you're sitting at 20% crit. This is like right where you want to be. Like, a little bit over is okay. But yeah, we're sitting at 20% crit. We're chilling. Got a lot of stamina, strength, agi. Plenty of int for mana. Sitting at 5.6k health, fully buffed. 4.1k mana with this belt, giving 12 more mana. If you don't have that and you have a Omok Girther Strainer, you're still sitting at 3.9k mana, which is plenty. Unbuffed, you're sitting at 5.1k health, 3.6k mana. You're chilling. This is a really good setup. This is what I'm planning on going to get. Trying to get anyways. And yeah, I just wanted to go over my gear plans for phase 3. Pretty much all I got for this video. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, tell me what you plan on doing for phase 3. What are you excited for? I stream every Monday and Friday over on Twitch, just about every Monday and Friday, sometimes other random days. Come hang out sometime. That's pretty much all I got. Thanks for hanging out, boys, and peace.